Dumpster Divas, welcome back to another episode of the podcast. And today I am joined by myself. It's just me. I know we were going to have a guest today. There was some scheduling things we had to change around. So we're going to have two fresh new guests next week. So both for a Love Island series finale, because I don't know that I can do this again, and then to chat all things Bravo. But so two episodes this week. We're just going to do two episodes next week. We're just doing one episode this week with yours truly before we head out on this nice 3-day weekend. I am doing okay, y'all. The world, it's hard to focus in on these shows sometimes when the world is kind of crumbling inside itself. And I just keep drinking coffee, which I can't imagine that is doing anything to make my anxiety better. But and I think I'm ready for Love Island to be over because it has fully consumed my life, and I need to get back to reading. I need to get back to spending time with those that I love. I need to get back to kind of just going outside. So I'm looking forward to it, to the wrap up, I think. But yeah, so today I'm gonna touch on Love Island right here at the top. Do not fret, my Bravo listeners. It's gonna take 2 seconds. This week has been pissing me off on Love Island, and then we're gonna get into Bravo because we had a stellar episode of Real Housewives of Miami that I really want to do a good old fashioned recap on. Just a top to bottom recap because it really lit me up. I felt like Bravo was alive and well in the spirit of Miami. So quickly on Love Island for those that care, and I'm not sure I'm one of them anymore. The series is wrapping up on a low note because we have too many couples and no couples seem to be in love. I mean, I don't know that anyone's ever in love in this house. Last season, Kaylor, I can't believe that was her name, but it was that. Kaylor and Aaron, they did say I love you, which that was crazy. But certainly no one here is in love. The only love connection that we found is between America and Amaya. Amaya is a bona fide superstar. She's going to walk out of that house. She right now has 1.2 million followers on Instagram, which is insane. Before going into the show, I believe she had like 100K or something like that, just because she models and is a nurse. She's a nurse / model. But I'm excited to see her journey after the show. But the couples who don't really have anyone, Nick and Sierra aren't really it. They're our only locked in couple, and Sierra is getting canceled online for some crazy comments, y'all. I'm not trying to get canceled, so we're not gonna really dive into her words, but just know that she's a little loose with her language about other minorities. So yeah, and then we have Ace and Shelly. I just, y'all, it's all tough. Long story short, the producers are just really involved this season, constantly playing games. We're never just kind of existing and chatting, pulling for chats and recoupling and falling in love. We're games. We're like confronting each other. It's just a lot. We had this stand on business mailbag game where everyone wrote in a mailbox their thoughts on each other. Terrible game. Of course, it erupted in nonsense. And of course, the online is all trying to rally behind canceling people because of their comments. And it's just like, y'all, this is too much. But I have to say something, okay? And I need y'all to hear this. There's a difference between holding people accountable for their actions and how do I say this right? There's a difference between holding people accountable for the behavior on the shows, but then also being able to watch the shows for what they are. Like, there's certainly a fine line. We're always writing the line. In reality television, I mean, this is kind of a dissertation on reality TV. The line is great on when we need to refrain our judgment and when we need to fully dive in. And I'm talking about just purely like actions on the shows. Sometimes I feel like as a community we care too much about what bad people are doing. And we hold these bad people to standards that they'll never reach because they are narcissists who chose to go on reality television. Like the amount of good people we have on reality TV in general is really small. Like it is a very small. That's why for me personally, sometimes I'm like, I would love to go to BravoCon and host a panel or like do some sort of like media thing to like chat with people that are chat with Bravo people in like a space that feels protected by a network where like I can ask questions, but like there's a level of PC there. Like I would be down to engage with Bravo celebrities like that. But like in reality TV people, like I just don't have the energy to spend so much energy loving or hating or canceling or any of it, to be honest with you sometimes. And I don't mean to sound like a white piece of shit when I say that, but sometimes I'm just kind of like, everyone's kind of bad. I think we all don't. Do we all know that? Because some of y'all ride so hard for some people online. I mean, online, some people are just like standing these characters, and I'm like, oh my god, y'all really stan these divas? Stan your mom, stan your grandmother. Those are stan-worthy people. Okay, we don't need to be standing Hudda. Hudda is, I'm sure she has wonderful qualities, but she's also kind of crazy and a narcissist because she went on the show. It's the perfect reality person. But that doesn't mean she's right or wrong in situations. And same with the girls and guys that we like love, like that were heroes. Like they still have faults, and I just think sometimes y'all we put so much weight on these hot influencers to be good people. They're bad. They're bad people. We watch because we're voyeuristic, you know? I don't know. That take may get me canceled. I don't know. I think I just want a little more hee hee ha ha online. I need a little more hee hee ha ha. I'm not hee hee ha ha in the real life, so I need a little more hee hee ha ha online. Okay, there's nothing to hee hee ha ha about that's happening in America. So can we save the hee hee ha ha's for Fiji? That's what I'm looking for. So if you're down to hee hee ha ha, come over to Dumpster Dive, where we hee hee and haha as I just like cried about the state of reality television. Subscribe to the pod. Okay, well let's dive into Bravo. So Bravo. So y'all, I have not watched The Valley, and I have not watched what's our other show, Next Gen NYC. So I'm not gonna have anything to say about that. The Valley has been a tough finish for me because of the lack of hee hee ha ha. Okay, it's a through line, baby. Transitions. Hee hee ha ha is not happening on The Valley for me. Although I did hear that this proposal was wonderful. So very happy for Kristen, despite her not hee hee ha ha past. She seems very happy, and she just had her baby. She looks gorgeous on the cover of People. So cheers to that. So yeah, I'll catch up on that. We can maybe touch more on that next week. But in terms of Miami and Atlanta, there is so much to talk about. This is when I love watching Bravo because there is just nonstop content. So I want to start with Atlanta, nonstop quality content, because when it's good, it's really, really good. And I think Atlanta and Miami, we can all agree, are operating on all cylinders. Atlanta, we'll start with that. We just had our finale, and this finale, I thought we wrapped up on a great note. I think we could have maybe trimmed the season down by like 3 episodes. The vacation was fun, but then the area between Nashville and then I can't remember where they went on the second vacation, but the island they were on, that area of episodes, I think we had like 5 episodes in between those two. That's where I feel like we lost steam a little bit because I think production was trying to figure out what we were going to do without Kenya. Can we ride hard with this cast? Do we need to add in anyone? And they ended up adding Phaedra. I really believe in this cast. Britt did not go to the reunion, so she will not be on the show next year, I believe. And I think the cast is great. I just think we got to add in maybe one more newbie and then add in Nene if she's available. But keep Cynthia as a friend of, and let's keep rolling. I love it. I love these ladies. So we wrap up on this event that Angela, it's like the Oakley Foundation for Hunger. I think I made that up. It is that. It's like something like that. It's like we support giving food to people. That the Oakleys they've been doing that for a long time. But of course, Angela, my messy reality queen. Here's another instance, guys. I love Angela. I cannot stand this woman. I don't know her, but I love her. She's great for TV. But if something happens online, I'm not going to like put all my moral cards down and be like, and this is why Angela is the girl. Like some of y'all do for Love Island influencers. Whew. Okay, I need to say he ha ha. Okay, back to funny again. Also, if you want a video version of me just kind of waxing poetically about the state of reality television, do subscribe to the Dumpster Dive YouTube channel at youtube.com/dumpsterdivepod. There's a lot to see here. A lot to see. So yes, so we have this anti-famine party, and that was bad. I'm sure they do great work. And you know what happened last week though was that this man showed up to some Williams and Sonoma like cooking class and was like, Angela, your husband's cheating on you. And essentially the whole episode we're trying to get to the bottom of who is the person who told her that information. Now, I think there was infidelity in their marriage. Angela has kind of alluded to that earlier on in the season. I don't think in this moment he's cheating on her. I think we have an instance. Do you remember? Y'all remember? I think it was, okay, this is season 16. Was it just last season, season 15 or season 14? There was a whole storyline about Sheree and her stylist, who then was Drew's stylist or so, not stylist, maybe HMU. I don't know. There was someone who crossed over between Sheree and Drew and was telling the other that the other wasn't paying for shit. And then, maybe it was Drew's manager. I don't know. There was just someone where it was like so clear to me that they were trying to become a reality television superstar. And here's the thing, y'all. If you want to become a reality TV superstar, you're never going to get there by showing up on one episode with some tea and just like being like, and now I'm getting a spinoff. It's just like, it never works that way. I don't really understand what you're going to get out of your 15 minutes. And you know these divas are launching podcasts off of their 15 minutes. They're like, okay, well, you know what? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do a tell-all with insert YouTuber name here, where I'm going to say anything and everything that you want to know about the ladies of Atlanta. And then they don't know these people. So I think that this man is an instance of that, where he claims, so he first claimed that Phaedra was the one who did it, who essentially paid him to show up and drop this drama, which it honestly sounds like Phaedra, knowing what we know about her in the past. But she was on Watch What Happens Live, and she made some solid points. She was like, I don't know these people. I don't know why. I don't know what makes sense why I would be engaged in that type of like shit. Like, I don't really get it. Like, why would I be a part of that? So I think Phaedra can be a liar, but I do think that I believe her on this, that she was not involved. And then it's come out after the fact that some people are saying that maybe Angela paid him or blackmailed him to say Phaedra. And then there was a whole other theory that Angela just paid him to cause the drama for the finale. Y'all, I gotta be honest. I think all of it is not real. If anyone had anything to do with it, I think it's Brittany Edie is not sleek. And I don't know how she's getting away with not being involved in this, but I would see her on this before I'd see anyone. So And other Atlanta news. Oh my God, I don't know if y'all saw, but Kelly is being sued by some creditor because she owes $30,000 in credit card debt. Damn, $30,000. That's like not. I mean, that's not nothing, but that's not like you can pay that off. Like that's you can pay that off. You're on a television show. Like, Mama, let's set up a payment plan. Let's what? Let's see. $2,500 a month. You can pay. I think you could pay that with your reality television check and be all settled with the government. But people don't pay their bills. People do not pay their bills. I've paid my bills. I say that like it's something I'm proud of. I guess you know what? It is a privilege to be able to pay a bill, and I can't take away that for myself. But Kelly is privileged enough to pay her bills, and she should be. But anyways, the Atlanta finale, we had this like big blow up because of all of this. Because Angela brings him. So Angela brings him to the event after the event's kind of like wrapping up, and Charles Oakley sees him there, and she didn't tell him that he was coming, which that was crazy to me. And it's like, you need to get the fuck out of here, and it's like freaking out and all this stuff, and it's like, okay, wait, Angela, you didn't tell your husband that you were gonna pull this shenanigans? I don't know. I thought that was crazy, y'all. Was that crazy? I don't know. That felt crazy to me. I was like, she is bringing this man who's telling everyone that her husband is her husband has a mistress, and she didn't tell him that he was going to be in the building. When Charles allegedly is known for acting up. He got kicked out of Madison Square Garden for acting up. So I don't know. Part of me was like, Angela, you are a little messy for bringing him. And I don't know what you thought you were doing here. But, and then the other part that I thought was weird is that Drew and Angela sat down with this man and they filmed it because they showed a flashback to it, but they didn't show the scene. So I was like, did more things come up in the scene that like mess up the storyline? Or is it like breaking too many fourth walls? Like, I thought it was so weird that they only showed us like 2 seconds of the scene. So, and then, yeah, we wrap up on just everyone screaming at each other leaving that event. It was honestly really great. And then Britt is so low, y'all. Britt is so low, y'all. She is saying that Shamia lied about all the stuff that happened with her daughter when they were on vacation, about how she had to go to the doctor and she was sick because she was like doing shots at the airport bar or something like that. I'm like, stay out of people's business unless you want people in your business. It's crazy. Also, this woman allegedly did not pay like the legal fees for the lawsuit that she's claiming she's suing Bravo over them showing the episode of the Kenya poster board situation. Allegedly, that lawsuit never actually got put into the legal process because she just didn't pay to do it. And so so you don't have money for the lawsuit, but then on the season finale, you're going to airport hangars shopping for a private jet? And also she's an insurance salesman. Y'all, there's something about the insurance world. And maybe, you know what? I want to be proven wrong. So if you work in insurance and you listen to this, please contact me. I would love to hear more about the people that you interact with. Sometimes to me, the people in the insurance world feel a little crooked. You know? Like it feels like we're always kind of like pulling some shady shit. Like taking money from someone and giving it to myself, but then maybe not giving it back to you. I don't know. There's just so much insurance fraud in the world that I'm always like of course on both sides, but like, I don't know. If y'all know insurance people, please hit me up. That's a crazy request. Maybe I honestly don't want to know. He ha ha. I mean, this is gonna be the name of the episode. He ha ha's on all things reality. It's honestly a mantra I think we should all start working on. Like when we're in an environment, when we're in a situation, as we are put in most days here in 2025 in the United States of America, when the situation feels dark, we just need to say to ourselves, he ha ha, he ha ha, ha 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 ha, and then you start laughing or crying. Ooh, y'all is my breaking point today. On the eve of America's birthday, July 4th, I am breaking down. Um, yeah, but Atlanta, is great. I had a great time. I want to hear y'all's thoughts on Atlanta. Please hit me up on the DMs. Also, one business thing. I feel like we talk about this and then we don't always fully acknowledge it again. The Dumpster Dive Pod Instagram, we just stopped running because after Kix, some behind the curtain, Kix was in charge of the Dumpster Dive Instagram. And so when we split, when we split, I was like, I'll just re-put everything on my Instagram so everything can stay in the same place. So if you want to contact me about things, do not contact the Dumpster Dive Instagram. It's not going to happen. You can do my Instagram or you can email me at dumpsterdivepod@gmail.com. Okay. So those are two ways to get at me. But please, if you're following and interacting with stuff on the Dumpster Dive Instagram, I don't go to there anymore. I can only handle so many accounts. So that's a little business thing. But I want to hear your thoughts. Insurance salesman, please contact me. Okay, let's get into the Real Housewives of Miami. So last week we did recap Miami last week. Recapped it with Noor. So we're hot off the heels of this Julia Gertie fight that is so confusing to me. Beyond confusing to me. I don't understand. It just feels like an instance like Real Houses of New York season 3 where people went into the season with a plan. Like Jill went into season 3 with a plan to take Bethany down because she was mad at her for being a bona fide superstar, right? It feels like an instance where what's another season where we did this? I feel like New Jersey, everyone always is coming in with ulterior motives. Atlanta season 9, Phaedra coming in with trying to spread these rumors about Candy. Like sometimes when these ladies start planning takedown seasons, I don't know who tells them this. Like I don't know if it's Bravo, I don't know if it's production, I don't know if it's the other girls, but it never makes the people trying to take down look good. You don't look successful in your takedown. You don't look like you just don't come across well, and it kind of weighs you down for seasons after if you are able to make it past that. So Julia, I just don't think she has any legs to stand on in the story of this fight on the TV show. Maybe if I knew her in real life, the story had more nuance and I knew the inner workings of the story as we kept in real time, maybe I would have cared. But the way it's being told on the show, I'm like, this feels insane. So the episode opens with Julia at the Miami Opera having a coaching with her voice teacher. Now, if you guys don't know, I studied voice. I studied musical theater. I also almost went into opera. I don't sing much anymore, and I wish I sang. I do wish I sang again or more. I mean, I can still sing again, but something about voice lessons. I know. Okay, so I just want to. So she's in this voice lesson, and she starts crying, and then she starts telling her voice teacher about everything that happened at the engagement or wedding reception, whatever. And she's talking to him, crying and then singing and then crying. And she's like, and then she told me that I'm not a good opera singer. And she's like, whoa. And it's so insane. But I do have to say one thing. Sometimes voice lessons are so incredibly intimate in a bizarre way, because you're relying on your instrument to just like receive feedback from. It's just you're not playing an instrument, you're relying on your body is an instrument that you're just asking someone to tell you good, bad, ugly, all of that, right? Like there were many times in college, my voice teacher, shout out to Bill Cotton. He's a wonderful, sweet man, lives in Boston still. He, especially senior year, baby, I was going through things, and he there were voice lessons where we would just sit and talk. And my parents may be listening and be like, well, we were paying for a voice lesson and you're sitting and talking. And it's just it brings up vulnerable moments. So I do believe in a weird way that this all came out authentically and production was like, wait, we should put this in the show. Because it really was that insane. And Julia is an unwell person. I think we can all kind of agree with that. I think all of these ladies may be unwell, but and then we cut to our taglines. We have taglines finally for the ladies all the way. We waited all the way till episode 4 for that, which feels a little kooky, crazy. But so we have taglines, and and I have to say, I've said this before. I think my biggest hot Bravo take is we can get rid of taglines. I don't know that they authentically work anymore, and they very rarely are very funny. This is almost a first pass on these taglines. I barely listened to it, so I'm gonna read it. We're gonna rate it 1 to 5 flamingos. Okay. So first we have Alexia. I may be a Cuban doll, but I am no one's toy. I'm gonna give that 2 flamingos. No. I'll give it 3 flamingos. It's okay. It's not bad. It's not bad. But it's also just kind of like, you're no one's toy, but you are kind of, because you continue to go back to Todd. Is that bad to say? Next we have Larsa. It's hard to get on my bad side because I don't have one. Well, Larsa, that's not true. But I'm gonna give it 4 flamingos, only because it's so much of a lie. It's kind of fun. Larsa, I would argue Larsa lives on her bad side. I hope she never gets to this. She's someone who has a Google. Y'all know her ass has a Google alert whenever her name is mentioned anywhere. So, hey. Gertie, I'm a fierce fighter and an even stronger survivor. Sentiment is a 5. Actually, I'm gonna give it a 2. 2 flamingos. She is a strong survivor. There is something we could have done here with firefighter, because her husband is a firefighter. My husband's a firefighter, and I'm a stronger survivor. I don't know. Next we have Julia. Oh God, I can't stand her, y'all. My chicken coop is full, and now so is my house. This is one of the worst taglines I have ever heard. 1 star. One flamingo. My chicken coop is full, and so is my house. It just also, I don't know. There's something about my chicken coop is full feels like a euphemism for something. I'm not loving it. That was really tough. Wow, that one did not fall. Also, when you read it, it's different. When you read it, it's different than when you hear it, because I'm not saying it in her Russian accent or whatever, Eastern European location she's from. Okay, next we have Lisa. Lisa is, I may not be prompt, but I'm worth the wait. I'm gonna give that one 5 flamingos. I like it. It's funny. And apparently this is going to be a storyline that she's a late ass bitch because Stephanie's going to come for her next week. Okay, so loving Lisa. Also, we'll get to it, but Lisa is making me lol. I know she's not trying to make me lol. Talk about hee hee ha ha. I'm hee hee ha haing on some of the things that Lisa is putting us through this season. God rest her dead soul. Next we have Stephanie. Stephanie, this is our new wife, which I have so much to say about her in one moment. Hers is, I don't just sell luxury, I live it. I mean, I'm gonna give it 3 flamingos. It's not that great, but it is truthful. This woman lives in luxury. We'll get back to Stephanie in 1 second. Because I once again have so much to say. I love her. Okay, next we got the scene with Gertie. She's decorating for Halloween. I think I missed something. There's skeletons everywhere, and then she's just throwing a party, and I don't know. I was very confused, but she is just talking about the whole Julia situation with her husband. I forget her husband's name. Russell? I think that's right. That's crazy. I forgot that. That is my child's name. I think it's Russell. Excuse me. So she says that she feels violated by everything that happened with Julia, and I agree. I mean, I have to agree. Like, if someone feels that way, like if someone feels violated, you have to believe them. Like, that's their experience, and we should never be violating anyone in any way. And we must listen to how she feels, and she feels hurt, she feels violated, she feels also incredibly embarrassed because she feels that Julia did all of this at Gertie's expense for entertainment. Like, I think what she's trying to say without saying it is like she wanted to make a moment for the television show at the expense of Gertie's mental health and her physical well-being. And I know it's just water, but throwing substances on someone, even if it's just water, like, it just is, it's so dark and it feels violating. Like, I don't know if you've ever had someone, like, I've never had someone throw a glass of wine or anything at me. If you have, please email me the story. Please, dumpsterdivepod@gmail.com. Would love nothing more than to read it here on the show. You know how other shows do listener letters? I think a new segment we need to have is like Real Housewife stories, like stories of your life that feel Real Housewife adjacent, and we'll read it here on the show. I just came up with that. I'm actually not kidding. If you have something, email me, dumpsterdivepod@gmail.com. I want to hear if you were on a bachelorette party and someone threw wine on you. Speaking of bachelorette party, actually, I'm having a good time. I'm hee hee ha ha now. Speaking of bachelor party, so I don't know if everyone knows, like, I think we all have origins of reality television recap shows that were like our North Star. Like, some people are Watch What Crappens, some people are like Sexy Unique Podcasts, some people are Everything Iconic. I am a bitch sesh listener since literally since the first episode came out, I think in 2014. Or it was either 2014 or early 2015. Casey and Danielle are my dream guest comedy icons. I love them so much. When their podcast really like went like super viral was when they read, and if you're a bitch sesh listener, you'll know what I'm talking about. They were reading like viral interactions, like group texts between people that like sounded like Real Housewives, like sounded like a scene out of Real Housewives. And the one that put them like on the map was this bachelorette party that they read, like this whole thread about all the shit that went down with the planning for the bachelorette party. The bride was being a bridezilla, the maid of honor was being a monster. Like, there was like, I think there was family involved. It was a mess. It was hilarious. It was crazy. One of the people in the thread, her name is Sarah, and she's a listener to the pod. Sarah, shout out. Sarah is like childhood best friends with one of my good friends from college, Alessandra. Also, shout out. She does not listen to this podcast. But she like is part of the famous thread that was so incredibly viral for Bitch Sesh. And I want to somehow use the powers I barely have to connect Sarah with Casey and Danielle. Like, I know a lot of people that know Casey and Danielle. I know Sarah. I want parties to meet so they can have a meeting of the minds, so we can really revisit the amazingness that was that whole thread. So, Sarah, reach out. Let's discuss. I have some ideas. You also work in entertainment, so I feel like you could get there. I believe you work in entertainment, right? Okay. Anyways, moving on. So Gertie, yes, has the chat with her. I don't know how. Oh, we were talking about throwing beverages. That's how we got here. And then we meet Stephanie. Now, we haven't had a Stephanie since Dallas, Stephanie Holman. I think that's our only other Stephanie in the Housewives world. It's interesting. Stephanie is such a, for a lack of a better term, basic name. I do think Stephanie is a millennial name. I don't think there's a lot of Stephanies. I do not think there are any Gen Alpha Stephanies. I think I'm going to really stand on, in the spirit of Love Island, stand on business that there are no Gen Alpha Stephanies. Maybe Gen Z, maybe, but it's a very millennial name, and so I just feel like we just don't. A lot of housewives are older than millennials, or they're millennials, but it feels crazy that we don't have any other Stephanies. And she, to me, isn't a Stephanie. She's everything but a Stephanie. God, she is so like effervescent and effortless on this show, and I'm sure a Trumper. Her husband is a massive building developer. I'm sure she's a Trumper. There's no way she couldn't be. But we're gonna put that in the back of our mind for a moment and just kind of talk about how much she is popping on this show, because here in the end, this show does take place in Florida. I'll pause for, I don't know, laughs, sadness, hee hee ha ha's during that. So Stephanie is with this man. I did not write his name down, but he has all these massive apartment buildings in the South Florida area. Maybe the world. I don't know. And he's older. Stephanie also, which we didn't get to this in this episode. Stephanie is Nicole, housewife Nicole, who was on the last 3 seasons. Was her husband, I forget his name. That's her ex-boyfriend. Stephanie dated Nicole's husband. Yeah. Which we didn't get that brought up here, which I actually liked, because I feel like they're like, that doesn't have to be her story, because she's so just like a dream for reality TV already off the bat, that we don't need to rely on like Nicole's gone and I'm here. Like that, there are other women who would have made that their story. Or I shouldn't put it on the women. Excuse me. I should put it on the producers. Like there are other producers that would have jumped in and been like, this is your story. And it's fun to see that right off the bat, that's not what we're dealing with. So, and I correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if Stephanie works for her husband's company or she has her own company, but she is a woman on the go. We love to see it. She's from Colombia, and she's hustling. She hustles, and I gotta respect the hustle, y'all. She's out here working, and I love to see it. And she just has wealth in a way that is so crazy. Like she's probably the same level of rich as Nicole was, because Nicole was money. And these people, because the rest of the cast does not roll as deep as Stephanie does in coin. Like Miami is very flashy, and I think to live in Miami, you have to just like kind of always sustain this level of like gaudy, because it's just kind of like that's the vibe of Miami. But she lives it. Like I think she lives that life, and she's her confessional look. I believe it looks like it's like vintage Dior or Chanel. Like she is living in these insane looks that are a gazillion dollars. I just know it. The first thing she does, she gets on a flight with Larsa in her private plane to have caviar and champagne as they go fly from South Florida to Orlando to pick up her dog, who is being dog sat by her parents. This is Real Housewives. This is Real Housewives. This is what we're looking for. Wish fulfillment. I either want wish fulfillment or I want like humor. What I don't want is boring rich ladies. I'm looking at you, Kyle Richards. And then what I also don't want is really racist rich ladies. Looking at you, Ramona Singer. Okay. So I'm looking for rich, wish fulfillment, and some humor. She's bringing both. How can we be upset with Stephanie? Once again, I'm sure she has some scary political views that we'll probably learn more about in her second and third seasons. But for now, we're loving. And yeah, so they go pick up her dog. I thought that was crazy. I'm like, do you just go? Is that like, does the dog just go spend time with grandma and grandpa in a private plane? Like, is that just like a weekly routine? I don't know. It's crazy. I mean, my parents would love if I flew Russell down to Flower Mound, Texas every month so he could go spend some time down there. It just feels insane. Also, private, and it's not good for the environment, y'all. Remember, these people aren't good people. I know it's crazy how we're operating on multitudes here. I need some people on threads to remember that we operate on multitudes in the reality television space, because some people ride so hard with one opinion and they just die on that sword. It's crazy. Now, I want to bitch about threads for a second and then we'll get back to the Miami recap. So, this is not a pat on my back. It's more of a what the fuck? I I've been like live threading Love Island. It's just been a fun way to like stay engaged with the show, and it's made me like the show more, to be honest with you, and to see the funny things that people say online about these people. It's just funny. It makes it fun. It makes it less dark. It makes it more hee hee ha ha. Now, I have garnered almost 8 million views to my threads account. This is not the flex you think it is, because just hold your breath, wait. Some of these threads I'm threading are garnering like 1 million views. I have gained 20 followers. And no, I don't think any of them have made their way here. Certainly not 41 minutes deep into this recap. So if any of you guys have any ideas about how to get me to the people, let me know. Let me know, because I seem to have reached 8 million people who don't care. So maybe let's find let's find another 8 million who might care. Because y'all, real facts, I want to really make good money off of this show. I make money here and there, but I love y'all, but I want this to be my job. I love doing this. I really do. So if you got any ideas, hit me up. If you want to give me money, hit me up. Anyways, back to the show. So so we get a scene with Lisa. Everyone goes to Lisa's house. Not everyone, just some of the girls. Alexia, Marisol, and a couple others. We get a scene, and this scene is essentially recapping like the trip in wherever they went. Madrid. They were in Spain. Milan. No, sorry. I always think they're in Madrid. They were in Milan. It was Milan Fashion Week. Recapping that, and then recapping everything that happened with her family, because her dad sadly passed away. Now, y'all, I have never in my life seen someone make the passing of a relative more of their personality in my entire life, to the point where I am concerned at her family watching this back. Y'all, so if you did not catch this before, Lisa did not have a relationship with her father until very recently, like a year ago. And essentially, I think it happened towards the end of filming last season, or maybe it happened during the airing of last season. So she hasn't had an opportunity to tell this story on the show. So at the beginning of the season, she clearly was ready to tell the story between her and her dad. This was going to be her thing. This is going to be like all she talked about. I have a theory that she, of course, is upset about her dad passing. But on top of that, it's like, well, now I don't have a story. Do not tag her. Do not tag her in that take, y'all. It just comes across like, this is all I have. This is the story I have to tell. And guys, what does she do? What does she do? Mama, Larsa is bitching about her on text to her. And Lisa sends a photo of her father in the open casket and says, this is what I'm dealing with right now. So why are you screaming at me? Y'all, I was crying laughing. Like, that is Housewives. That is Housewives. She is so insane. Insane. Oh my God. I can't believe she did that. I cannot believe she did that. What a wild thing to do. And like, and then Marisol was like, please, so I've never been a big Marisol person. I'm loving her this season. Loving. And she made me cry laugh when she was like, the dead cannot travel through the interwebs. There's no dead. The dead cannot be an e-commerce platform. They can't. We can't be sending photos of dead people online. It's just it's beneath us. So we get that, and then the girls go to happy hour, and Alexia doesn't go to the happy hour because she has a migraine. And in some languages we call migraine Todd. She claims she wasn't with Todd, y'all, but I'm sorry. I think that woman was sitting on Todd and was like, "Oh, I got a text." In the words of Love Island, "We got a text." Oh my God. Oh my God, guys. I didn't tell you. I'm not gonna get up and grab it right now, but my hyperfixation is so dark, sick, twisted that I did buy a Love Island water bottle that says Tom on it. And that's tough. It's tough. I don't even own Real Housewives merch, and I have that. Have I ever bought a Real Housewives item? The only thing I've ever purchased was Skinny Girl margaritas back when that was like a thing. But like I've never had any like Real Housewives products, no candles. Honestly, the price point is crazy. Usually I'm like, I'm not spending that. The water bottle was only $30. So I was like, you know what? Let's do it. The world is ending. I also want to buy a Labubu, and I need y'all to tell me if I should or shouldn't. Email dumpsterdivepod@gmail.com. Um I'm crazy today. Last couple things. So then we also a quote from Stephanie that made me guffaw was that she says in her confessional, "I knew from a very young age that I wanted to be filthy rich." It feels like a line out of like Death Becomes Her. It's so cunty. She's so cunty. I die. I can't wait for her to become terrible, and I hate her. Um, and then lastly, we get this baby shower. So Adriana throws a baby shower for Martina and Julia for adopting these two boys. And right when we get to the baby shower, Stephanie clearly has been watching the show or like studied the show before she started filming because she knows what's going on. And she says to Alexia, right when they get there, she goes, you know what they say about relationships? You should never go back. You should never go digging back in like yesterday's garbage or something along those lines. Alexia looks mad as hell, calling Todd garbage. He is garbage. He's a garbage person, girl. Not in a positive way. Not a dumpster diva, baby. He's a garbage person. Okay? So that really made me laugh. But then we have this insane. There's so many insane things about this baby shower. First thing is we have a full bridesmaids cup cum ka. When we look in each other's eyes, we just, oh, I can tell what you think just with the look. You know, the whole bridal shower scene essentially plays out between Alexia and Adriana talking to Julia, and I was crying laughing. It was so funny. They were both just, Alexia was like, Alexia got up and goes, oh, can I say something after Adriana gave this whole speech? And Adriana, say what you want about her. She is a lunatic, but she goes, if you must. I'm screaming, y'all. This is the best show on Bravo right now. It makes me crazy that it does make me feel actually insane that no one's watching it. The ratings are so low. I really don't know why. So then we play this crazy game with diapers where you gotta eat the food in the diaper and taste what's in it. That was crazy. We're playing all these games, and all of a sudden we start fighting, and then Lisa starts crying, and then she's like, "What do you expect me to do? My dad is nah." And it's like, yo, I know, I understand that I'm coming across insensitive. It is so sad that she got this new relationship with her father. Her father met her kids, and then he passed, and they didn't get all the time that they wanted to together. And it's a life lesson that we all should take on. I'm not delegitimizing that. It's more that she just is so me, and so everything has to do with what she's going through. So she can never be in these situations, and it's what makes her a good housewife, whether you find her annoying or not. She makes a good housewife because she doesn't know how to not put herself into every single situation. And so she runs out crying because she's like, feels bad. She's like, I can't believe I'm making this about me, but it's about me. It's so funny. Y'all, 10 out of 10 Miami episode. Please, if you're not watching Miami, get onto Miami. Also, I think that's all the shows that I'm watching. Is there anything else I'm watching? I am watching Love Island UK current too. I know you're like, please shut up about Love Island. If you guys want an entry point to Love Island that feels a little less scary, because the online discourse about Love Island USA seems to be like overwhelming the space, do watch Love Island UK this current season on Hulu, because it's actually kind of what Love Island is supposed to be, is my understanding. Like, we're actually just finding love, and we're not like fighting over who made pancakes for who. It's very like, the biggest drama is like the recouplings. We actually have recouplings. People are actually going home. It's all very much Love Island, and it doesn't feel like an overproduced Love Island USA show. So go check out Love Island UK. It's great. There's a nightmare person named Helena and a nightmare man named Harry. I can't stand either of them, and they need to never leave the villa. If you want more of my thoughts on that, just DM me. I'm not going to recap it, but I'll talk to you about it. And thank you guys for being here. This was almost an hour of me ranting, bitching, ranting, hee-hee-ha-haing. Guys, more hee-hee-ha-ha this weekend. America's on fire. It's its birthday. Let's not celebrate America. Let's celebrate you for surviving. On that, make sure to rate and review to the podcast on all platforms. Email me. Chat with me. I would love to hear what you have to think about these shows. dumpsterdivepod@gmail.com. You can follow me at the Tom Hamlett. Next week, we'll be back with 2 episodes and a live. Please enjoy your holiday weekend, and I love you all more than you know. Thank you so much for being here. Bye, y'all.